What's going on, Jerome's Minnesota Vikings Training Camp is mercifully right around the corner. And I love summer, but just can't wait. Just can't wait to be king of kings of the NFC North as well as the NFL writ large. So a lot of training camp questions heading on in. NFL.com's Kevin Patra doing up an around the league preview, and he hit on some interesting questions in terms of subclass of track, and we just want to give our little 2 cents. Actually, no, more than 2 cents with inflation. 3 cents. There we go. Number one, what will life look like without Dalvin Cook? Alexander Mattison is set to take the lead back role now the Vikings release Cook. Mattison has never handled more than 134 carries in the season since entering the league in 2019. He's in for a big boost in playing time in 2023, but we should keep some sort of rotation to shake out Minnesota's backfield. Chandler, Kinkene, 7th round pick Dwayne McBride battle for reps during training camp. And I do believe that Mattison can be a very solid do-it-all running back one. He does everything well. Like he doesn't like bust off the page as an elite running back, but he does do everything well and giving opportunity. And also, they mentioned 134 carries hasn't crested that in a season, so he is relatively fresh, even though he is 26. So Mattison can run with power, great in outside zone. He's great communicating with the offensive line, so that's a big deal in terms of patience, running lanes, as well as especially pass protection. He's a solid receiver. So I think that he can be a solid one-for-one replacement for Dalvin Cook. Now, I do think that there is going to be now, I don't think that Mattison is going to get the same level of work that Dalvin has gotten over the last couple of years. That's why Ty Chandler, passing downs, Kinkene, and Dwayne McBride on some early down work are going to be in the mix as well. Number two, how will Danielle Hunter's situation unfold? The Vikings received trade calls for the pass rusher who skipped mandatory minicamp last month. Hunter and the Vikings haven't been able to agree on a contract extension, with Hunter due $5.5 million this season. Will the two sides work out a deal before training camp begins? Will he be traded? Will he report without a new deal or a new team? It seems like all options are on the table at this point. Well, the new CBA basically makes it impossible for a player to hold out in training camp. The fines are excessive and they are exponential. So I don't really see Danielle holding out, because the Vikings ultimately at the end of the day do hold all the cards. They could be like, all right, well, you cannot show up, you're going to get fined, the fines can't be rescinded, and if you hold out long enough into the season, your contract holds, and then we just do the same song and dance again, and you'll be another year older and a year out of football. So I don't think that's going to happen. I do think we've talked about this before. If you're going to trade Danielle, make sure you get enough draft capital that you can use to find your quarterback in the future. But I'm a big proponent of keeping Danielle. He is going to be 29 in October, but he's still firmly in his prime. I think that you can work something out, and I think that a compromise is going to be made. I think the Vikings will end up freshening up his 2023 salary or add in some bonuses, make it worth his while. I think it's going to be the best of both worlds, where Danielle can show up and show out the season in a contract year, a true blue contract year, and hit free agency next off season and get paid, whether here or somewhere else. And the Vikings keep a premium piece of their defense intact. So I think that's probably what's going to happen at this point. Number three, it'll be a pivotal season for Kirk Cousins, who's due to become a free agent next offseason, and the Vikings might be leaning more on the passing game after jetting Cook. All-pro wideout Justin Jefferson is a clear go-to target. The question is whether first-round pick Jordan Addison can hit the ground running in his rookie campaign. With Thielen off to Carolina, the Vikings need the rookie to make an immediate impact. Minnesota will also be counting on Hawkinson and KJ, Jalen Reagor, and the Vikings need Addison for the passing game to shine. Head coach says blah, 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 blah. So Jefferson is still going to get his. Kirk had a great year last year, and I actually think that it could go up to the next level with him being in a contract year. Also, him just marinating a little bit more with Kevin O'Connell in year two, and the offensive line staying healthy with continuity. And I do think that Addison is going to be able to hit the ground running. Now, hopefully his minor injury that held him out of the bulk of OTAs and mandatory minicamp is good to go, and he's able to participate from day one in training camp. I think that will be key for him to get up to speed. KJ is going to be in there as well. Kirk and KJ obviously have some nice chemistry, especially on third downs. And I hope something happens with Jalen Reagor. I just don't see it. But I do love me some Jalen Naylor. I do love me some Lucky Jackson. I do love me some Tristan Jackson. So I think that something else is going to happen there. Maybe some B. Powell as well. Hawkinson. People don't talk about Josh Oliver. Josh Oliver is going to help transform the running game, as well as I think that he's going to be a very underrated red zone receiver. So everything will be good to go there. 4. What will Brian Flores' defense look like, especially with a revamped secondary? Hiring Flores to lead the defense was a coup for Minnesota, particularly after the group struggled last season. 28th in points, 31st in yards. The secondary remains the most significant question mark. Byron Murphy Jr. was signed in free agency, and third-round pick Mekhi Blackman could be in line for a substantial role. Outside of Harrison Smith, the Vikings secondary is riddled with questions. We'll start by getting some answers during training camp. I'm actually feeling really good about the defense, not going to lie, man. I think cornerback-wise, the betting favorite for win, play, show 1, 2, 3 would be Murphy, Evans, and Blackman. I think those are probably going to be your trio of week 1 starters. Booth will be in the mix as well. Joejuan Williams, given his experience with the Flores adjacent type scheme, could be in for some work too. And then you do have Harrison Smith. One last dance for Big Poppy. Let's go. Beasley. We'll see if Beasley acclimates. I think Josh Metellus has a chance to really be the sneaky player on this defense. He is a de facto starter as that third safety, bit of an amorphous safety, corner, slot, linebacker hybrid. And also I think Lewisine is going to get in the mix as well. So, I mean, there's question marks, yes, but the Vikings do have a lot of potential answers in the secondary. Lastly, number 5 is the Justin Jefferson contract extension coming. It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. No. Sorry, I've been watching some Fresh Prince reruns. To see extensions announced before or in the early stages of training camp. Will Jefferson get paid before entering his 4th season? The star receiver has been dynamite since Minnesota drafted him 22nd overall in 2022, but didn't play him until Game 3 of his rookie season. In 3 seasons, Jefferson has generated 48-25 on 324 catches, 25 touchdowns. In 2022, he led the league in receptions and yards, due $2.39999 million in 2023 and $19.743 on his 5th-year option in 2024. Jefferson is underpaid for his production at a premium position. Will the Vikings give him his payday now or later? I think they'll give it to him now. I think they'll realize that, hey, if he has a Triple Crown Offensive Player of the Year, potential MVP type season, and also another year closer to free agency, it's going to cost the Vikings significantly more. Now, also Jefferson's camp could be pushing for that too. So I think that there will be a compromise. I think Jefferson will get paid. I think it'll be 33 million per season, worth every single penny. And if I was Jefferson, I would sign a very short extension. I would sign like a 2 or 3 year extension, meaning that you can get paid and that salary can get market rate very quickly as players leapfrog you. I mean, the worst thing that players can do is sign a long extension where guaranteed money is burnt up within the first year or two, because it gives the team way too much control on a non-guaranteed contract on a base salary that's going to be below market value. So I think that something will get done, and I think it will be record-breaking, and JJ will stay in purple a long time. But that's it. Let's take a look at a couple subplots from NFL.com training camp preview. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.